Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sisters, this is my second video. Still not comfortable, but that's okay. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's one of the things I'm working on. So, one of my cousins, Rish, has sent me a clip. And the clip, I don't remember specifically everything it said, but a couple things stood out to me. One of the things that stood out to me was about being obedient, and I know in my last video I spoke about that. Me like really being more obedient or whatever God has for me to do. The second thing that I remember was extremely powerful. It was delayed obedience is still being disobedient. That right there really stuck with me. It stuck with me because that is what I'm struggling with. Either hearing God and not moving when He says move, and then missing out on your blessing or your opportunity. In my head, I'm still being obedient because I did what you said. God, I did what you said. And no, delayed obedience is still disobedience. So, I'm working on that. That was a revelation. That was powerful. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. I want y'all to let that sit for a minute. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. So Timra, gonna work on that. Don't know about you. So when I spoke last time, I talked to you guys about a movement when I went to church a couple weeks back. It's my cousin Charlotte's church. Had a great time. Probably about 2 weeks later, I ended up going to a service. Enjoyed the service with Bishop Kipion. First Lady, Justina, she told me that my cousin showed her my last video. She thanked me and told me it was beautiful. So I'm gonna keep with it because it's still laid on my heart. So I decided to bring out the t-shirt. I don't know if y'all can see that. So, t-shirt says Healed Hearts, the movement. I firmly believe in it because I'm one of those hearts that need to be healed. So I'm all for it. I'm all for encouraging it, promoting it, and hoping I can help heal somebody else's heart. Another, Anessa sister, whether you're already a sister in Christ with me or just, I'm all for it. It says Healed Hearts, the movement, Psalms 147:3. He heals the wounds of every broken heart. The image that's on it are two hearts that's got scratches, scrapes, or whatnot on it, and one of them has an open wound. Yeah, that open wound. That open wound. A lot of us, including myself, tend to think that when we heal the open wound, that it can never be reopened, and that's not true. That's definitely not true. Anyway, so I'm obedient today. God laid it on my heart. I needed to make another video. Today was the day. But it was delayed disobedient. It was delayed disobedient in two ways. So I thought that this video should have been out probably at least a week ago. Secondly, when he woke my butt up this morning, I can't tell you exactly what time he originally woke me up, but I can tell you what time I actually got my butt up to, get dressed, because I'm always asking God, can I get dressed for the day? And I'm going to church today, so I got dressed for the day. But that was all obedience getting up, and now I'm recording a video, but it was delayed obedience. So, yeah, I'm been a little hard on myself this morning because when he woke me up, the first time I should have got my butt up, all I remember is 6:21 is when I finally put my feet on the ground. My Google Nest is right in front of me, so you can see when I get out of bed, you can see the time. If anybody's wondering how I know what time. Working on being obedient and not being delayed about it. So I can give you one of my examples of my delayed obedience and how when God makes moves for you, you need to move. And when you don't, it doesn't always necessarily mean that he has closed the door, but you know the opportunity is not there in front of you that it was when he first presented it. I have been thinking about doing something different. I am an in-home family child care provider. Have been for over 10 years, and I absolutely love what I do. Love what I do. I love kids. Anybody that knows me knows that I love kids, right? So I had some medical issues going for the last about year and a half or so, and so it caused me to close down my in-home child care for a little bit, and I wasn't ready to come back. I wanted to, get back to myself so I can be, be 100% within taking care of kids, because I truly believe that taking care of kids is a privilege. I want to be at my best when I do it because I'm nurturing, God's greatest gift in the world, our babies, right? I want to be intentional with what I nourish and how I treat them and take care of them. Like, I love kids. I joke around and tell people I probably would have been that 19 kids and counting lady. Probably not that many, but I would have had more kids than I had, if it was up to me, right? So daycare not open. So I said, okay, Lord, my goal, my dream is to own a small center, and I got some advice from my LPA who comes and checks our license and stuff. And he's like, maybe you should try working at a center so you can get, a little bit of knowledge on how centers work if that's what you choose to do. It's really good advice. So I went looking after to go and apply somewhere. And I did. I showed up 2 or 3 times, couldn't catch anybody, couldn't navigate through the website. And finally, the last time I showed up, the young lady there was like, can you please leave your number? I will get it to the director and she will give you a call. She left already for the day. So I did that. Within a couple of days, she called me. Then within a couple of days after that, she had told me to come in. So I'm filling out paperwork. As I'm filling out paperwork and she's talking to me about stuff, I hear her say my name and my social security number, and I'm like, what? Why are we saying my social security number on the phone? Well, what she was doing, she was calling on my credentials, my live scan to see if, I'm still fingerprinted and I'm still in the system, which of course I am because I'm a business owner. And she was excited. Oh yeah, and you want to finish filling out the paperwork? I said, sure, I'll finish filling out the paperwork. Now here I am thinking that we're just talking, I'm just meeting the lady, and yeah, I'm filling out paperwork, but I'm kind of oblivious to, like, in my head, like, I'm filling out paperwork, but it really doesn't mean anything, I'm just searching, just trying to see what's out there. So she stops me and she's like, let me go show you the classroom you'll be in. And I'm looking at this lady like, classroom I be in? She goes and shows me a classroom and she says, there's a changing table in there. You okay with that? And I'm like, yeah, I change diapers all day long in in-home childcare. In-home childcare, we have mixed ages. So in the midst of having mixed ages, you do all that. You change clothes, you feed, you change diapers, all that kind of stuff. So I said, yeah, I'm fine with it. She was giving more information, like, we have a curriculum, you go by, you have a stipend, if it goes over, any supplies you have, it goes over, you have to go get it yourself. Like, so she's giving me the rundown of this classroom. When we go back and sit down, she's like, well, can you start Monday? I want to say it was a Monday or Tuesday that I came in to see her. I think it was a Tuesday. And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, what time would you like? I said, well, I have to drop my kids off at school, so I guess maybe 8:39. She was like, well, we can do, 9 to 5:30, a 30-minute lunch. And I'm looking at this lady like, I just came in for some information. What are we doing? What's going on? And she was asking me some of my credentials or things that you have to do to stay in compliance. I was like, I need to update my mandated reporter training. There's a few other things I need to do. She's like, okay, well, when you get done with all that, can you just email it to me? So, I'm working on a mandated reporter training. And for anybody that does not know, mandated reporter training is an online training. It's over 2 hours. And that's a few years back, they added 2 parts where you do the general and then you do whatever specific for your field, whether you're in the medical field, whether you're working for the school district, a child care provider. So you're over 4 hours. And I'm like, I'm trying to get this done in between pickup, drop off, just whatever I got to do during the day. So it took me over a week to get done. We're just going to be honest about it. I feel that I was being intentional, but I might not have been. So she called me on that Friday, and I was like, I'm not ready, and I don't have anywhere to put my daughter. She gets out of school early, and she's like, okay, just let me know. And I think the hurricane hit after that, so it kind of pushed days back too. And so I'm procrastinating. We're just going to be truthful about it. I'm not being intentional about getting stuff done, even though God has opened up this door with this huge opportunity. I hear him. I feel like I'm listening, but am I doing my part? Like, am I doing my part in a timely manner? We're going to be honest. No. So another week passes. I think I was in the third week when I called her up and asked her, could my daughter walk over? She's not far for the school that she goes to, and meet me there, so until I get off work. She was like, no, we don't have a license for that, and you know how licensing goes, and I do. You can only have the children that you are licensed for and care, and nobody else. And so I said, well, I need to find somewhere for my daughter to be. So I'm giving excuses, I'm procrastinating. It had to be about 4 weeks before I realized, okay, mandated reporter training is done. I'm going to take in my certificate. I'm going to take in my immunizations because we have to be immunized to work with children. And she lets me know that the position's been filled. But she has my file in front, and she puts the paperwork I give her in the file. And so I was like, okay. And I asked her, is there anything else that you need me to complete? And she told me a couple more things. I said, okay, I'll get it done. So as I'm walking to the car, I feel like I have a panic attack. And I'm like, God, why are you doing this to me? And I get in the car and I call my cousin Charlotte, and I just need somebody to calm me down so I'm not in my head, and I'm not, trying not to be in a space where I miss out on the next blessing. And my cousin Charlotte tells me, she's like, you didn't move when God told you to move, but in the same respect, he didn't close the door all the way. And also, he could have a better opportunity for you. So you need to not be so hard on yourself. You need to take it as it is. You learned a lesson. So, and I did. I learned a lesson. So, within saying all that, sorry I'm long-winded, is that while you're trying to be obedient, remember that being a delayed obedience is still disobedient. And also you need to be intentional. And so I am also working on being intentional. And I didn't realize in a lot of things in my life I wasn't being intentional. I feel like I was. I'm getting it done. I'm doing it or whatnot. But being intentional, it's a different kind of feeling. And I felt it when I was finishing up the last stuff that she wanted me to do. Even if being at that center was not where God wanted me to be at, I was being intentional about getting stuff done. As a matter of fact, when I left that day, I went and got whatever shot that it was due to be, I needed, or whatever was in our bracket of shots, or whatever was getting ready to be due, I went and got it. So I was being intentional that day. I was trying to get the stuff done. I wasn't trying to be delayed in my actions. So, Healing Hearts movement, being obedient, and that delayed obedience is still disobedient, and being intentional with the things that you do. And we're all human, so we can feel like some of these things that we are doing, but we're not really doing them. And it might take somebody like a cousin to let you, call you out, to help remind you that you're not really doing what you think that you're doing. Yeah, you're going through the motions, you're doing it, but you're not being intentional. So that was my open door, that opportunity that I missed because I didn't move when God told me to move. Okay, I'm shift gears just a little bit because that was just something I know I needed to tell you guys while I'm on my spiritual journey. Being telling my truth. This is more of my truth. So, my name is Timmer. I was named after my dad. My dad's name is Timothy Tim. I love my parents. I was not raised by my parents. I was raised by my maternal grandmother, Lily Mae. She is who I call Mama. And I know I said that in the other video. She's on every school record. She is my mother. She is not living anymore. I'm grateful for her raising me. I love to tell people about her, how her spirit is, and how she used to tell us grandkids she never met her grandmother, so she didn't know how to be one, so she made her own image. And in my opinion, she was an absolute fabulous grandmother. But in the midst of me telling you that my grandmother raised me, so I am a child of two drug addict parents. That is my truth. It has taken years to come to terms with it, to be as okay with it as you possibly could be. I am grateful for that situation because it put me in a place where I was nurtured and loved by my grandmother. And being nurtured and loved by my grandmother is a really, really good thing, and it made me who the person I am to be. Train of thought, what was I? Product of two, or a child of two drug addict parents. Grateful that my grandmother raised me. It took a lot of years, a lot of prayer, counseling for me to come to the point where I'm okay with what I feel that my parents did to me. I felt like, and still do, but it doesn't hurt and harm me the way that it used to, that my parents chose drugs over me. I do feel that substance abuse, drug addiction, drug addict, it is a disease. This is my own personal feeling. I don't know if I always felt that way, but that I have heard my parents tell me about it. I wasn't front and center in a lot of it, and I'm grateful for that. My maternal brother was, from my mother, and I believe a host of people on my dad's side were. So my dad is clean and sober, I believe, for 28 years. Very proud of him. My mother is not. She is still out there. Her drug of choice is heroin. I've done so much in the past to keep a relationship with my mother that it was exhausting. I'm the child. You're the mother. It was exhausting. Searching for her. Using my kids, you can't come see your grandkids if you don't get clean. Using me, you can't, it's exhausting. And the truth of the matter is, all you can do is pray. And they're not gonna get clean and sober until they're ready. So you take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. So when we're talking about the Healing Hearts movement, this is one of my wounds. Being a child of two drug addict parents. This is one of my wounds. And just when I think that it's closed up, I have triggers. I have triggers. My relationship with my father is not 100. I do love him. At times he gives good advice. I've spent time with him. He spent time with my kids. I don't know, it's hard to explain a relationship. There's definitely love there. I have always felt that I was the outcast of my siblings. Probably more so because I wasn't raised with him. But it's a wound that keeps getting reopened. I pray that God heals it and keeps it shut. That is my ultimate that I feel. But it's part of my Healing Hearts movement. My mother, I feel, my own personal opinion, that she's living on borrowed time. We, on my mom's side, we were all raised in the church. We know God, I don't understand it. I am a mother of 5 children, 3 biologically I gave birth to. Being stewards over our children is my greatest gift from God. I always wanted to be a mother. I always knew I was going to be a mother. I didn't realize I was going to be old, as I like to say when I had kids. 27, 26, 28 when I had my first one. I can be a smothering mom at times. I'm an intentional mother. So that part I do not understand. I love my kids with my whole heart. I will give my last to them. I will do without. I will run myself ragged for my babies, and have. So I don't understand that part. So it's got to be the disease. I can't explain it. So I'm going to stop trying to. I know that nothing but God can separate me from my children. My babies are my heart. Every last stubborn ounce, every autistic fiber in one of my kids' beings, every bookworm, just cell in my daughter's body, you know, just my children are my heart. So those are one of my open wounds that I'm praying and I'm hoping God is working within me. I don't know what one of your open wounds are. What are they? You know, I'll pray with you. I'll be intentional about it. I know that without God, it would tear me up. It has. I've had to pray on it. I've had to put myself in a position where that is not forefront because it's not healthy for myself, my mental health. You know, it's not healthy for me trying to raise my children. Healing Hearts Movement. Comment, share. I thank y'all for listening in, letting me speak my truth. I love y'all, and happy Sunday.